Hey guys, Ash Lane here, coming at you today with Red Elite's 100th War Win Recap. So, going to be a nice war recap video today, but first a huge shout out to my clan, Red Elite. We've been together for almost 2 years. We have been warring since the beginning of wars, not always constantly. Since clan perks, we've moved to constant 24/7 war clan, but before that it wasn't, we weren't constant. But anyway, we have our 100th win here against the Pun Pirates. I will do a war recap here featuring a couple Town Hall 9 attacks that we're going to actually start with, and then a few Town Hall 10 attacks afterwards. So let's go ahead and start things off, like I said, with the Town Hall 9s first. They usually have to wait till second, so we're going to go ahead and take them first today, and we're going to cover some really nice Shattered GoLaLoon attacks, starting with one by T-May. But before I get to the actual raid here, I just want to focus on one thing that we're going to pay special attention to throughout all these replays. Now, I watched every war replay from this war, and I wanted to focus and hone in on attacks that had very precise and very key spell placement and timing that contributed largely to the success of the raid. Now, spell timing and placement is certainly one of those things that isn't talked about a heck of a lot out there on YouTube, but it certainly is one of the biggest factors in the success or failure of a clan war raid, or any raid for that matter. Let's go ahead and start with this one here by T-May. Now, T-May has 2 haste spells, 2 rage, 1 jump, 1 poison spell. You're going to see he's going to run into a dragon in the clan castle here, but let's watch primarily the timing and the patience by T-May here, executing this 3-star raid. And you can see his heroes are only mid-level heroes, so a very impressive attacker here, T-May is. And he's going to start by placing 2 golems at 9 o'clock on the map, and he's going to be very patient, let them take out almost that entire cannon full health, get that down, then drop the jump spell, and then he's going to kind of pepper in these wizards, clearing the outside structures here, and giving those golems plenty of time to make their way towards the center, engaging that queen, and go ahead and triggering that clan castle. He's going to use the poison spell on the Valkyrie and the couple archers in there, but, you know, the level 1 poison doesn't do too much damage against the Valkyrie, nor the dragon, obviously. But either way, his queen's going to easily take out that dragon soon enough when she targets it. There it is. And slowly make their way into the base, take care of the opposing queen as well as the clan castle. Also going to get an expo and an air defense down, so plenty of damage done by the first unit here, the first team of this attack. And then he's going to have the 2 rage and the 2 haste spells still sitting on. So it's quite a lot of firepower for the second portion of this raid. You can see right there the queen's able to take out another air defense, and when you have 2 air defenses, clan castle and queen down, you know it's going to be a good attack. So you can see here the first lava hound, dies fairly quickly, but it's not going to be a big deal. He does have the 3, and then one's going to come in around 3 o'clock here, and you can see he used his 2 rage spells almost right off the bat, and that's actually a smart thing to do here. He's going to hold that last haste spell for this last critical juncture of the attack, but using the 2, if you're going to mix in the haste and the rage spells, it's really important that you have good timing and good placement. Now, rage is obviously much more powerful than haste spells. It has the damage bonus, although it's not quite as speedy. So one thing you want to factor in is perhaps using rage either in a really offensive packed area or defensive packed area, meaning a couple expos next to a wizard tower, or an expo next to a air defense. Using a rage towards those pivotal points in the attack are a great way to go. But also another idea is to use rages early on, like you saw in this attack. Using rages early on and then saving the haste spells till later in the raid is actually a great strategy, because the rage spells, when used earlier, are going to have more bang for your buck, because you're going to have more troops on the board at that point than you would later in the attack. So just a couple ideas there on spell selection and timing. This next one by Steven is going to be on a fellow Town Hall 9 again. Kind of a popular base here. We have the center unit with the queen, the clan castle, and the air sweepers both nearby. You can see Steven's going to bring 2 golems as well. He's going to have his a lava hound, a max lava hound in the clan castle, opting for 2 level 4 golems instead. You can see now he has a nice spread of wizards yet again. Very patient on that jump spell. Make sure everything is clear. before he drops the king there. Now the king is focused on the center there, going to head towards that opposing archer queen. And this is kind of a tricky base here, but Steven makes it look easy because he's going to go ahead and trigger that clan castle, and the golems are going to go ahead and jump in the middle, providing plenty of meat shield for his heroes, and he's going to be able to get that air defense, clan castle, archer queen, and both air sweepers, or one air sweeper, excuse me, down right off the bat as the queen takes out that dragon, and then it's going to be almost time for the second phase of this attack. So you can see here he goes ahead and pops that archer queen ability. He was only able to get down one air defense here as opposed to the previous example where teammate was able to get down two. But you can see Brandon chooses to instead deploy, coming from the north, he's going to deploy two of the lava hounds to the first air defense and kind of sit back on that third lava hound coming in from the south there. So you can see now the lava hounds have the defensive attention of all the main damage-dealing firepower left on the board. You can see that one unchecked wizard tower in the south as well as the air defense are the only real units of issue right now in the attack, but he has a lot of firepower left. He still has a hound left standing. It's going to explode there, but by sitting on those last balloons and coming in through the south, he's able to distract enough defenses to let those balloons come in there and take out that final air defense. You can see things are a little bit trickier when you have the when you're only able to get one air defense down, but certainly still doable, and he still has about 5 or 6 balloons left, as well as a wizard and enough puppies to clean up there for the 3-star attack. Now let's move on to the Town Hall 10 attacks. So the Town Hall 10, the most important thing we're gonna focus on here is the freeze spell, right? So freeze spell timing is so important when executing a really nice raid here, and we're going to see just that how important it is on these 3 replays I'm going to bring you, starting with MJ's. He's going to come in and do, around the south area, southeast area. He's going to start, you will notice his spell composition before we get going here. He has 4 earthquake spells, 1 poison, 2 freeze, 1 rage spell. He's going to have a nice spread on those golems, and he has all those wizards ready, standing by to do some damage, help clear out a path for the funneling of the troops, and then he's going to drop his 4 earthquake spells. You can see they provide a nice funnel, a nice path for the heroes and the rest of his troops to get towards that town hall. You can see 2 of the golems going right towards the middle there, looking pretty good. You can see the first freeze spell rather, this is what we want to focus on here, was dropped at a perfect time, right before that Inferno Tower locked onto those wizards. The wizards are going to be the main portion of the attack here, as they're going to be responsible for clearing out the town hall and the center unit there. You can see they actually went down because he might have been able to drop it a little bit later there on the freeze spell to help protect those wizards, but MJ knew that a bunch of his forces were heading towards the north of the base, and because of that he was able to count on that archer queen to take down the town hall by herself. You can see that a lot of people, what they do is they kind of get in these raids and they start to panic. And the number one thing they do when they panic is start to drop spells kind of haphazardly throughout the map. So they'll either go really early on freeze spells or really late. This next replay I'm going to show you guys is really going to illustrate how patient to be on the freeze spells. So let's go ahead. That was a very nice attack against a very common base here by MJ. Go ahead and fast forward just a little bit here. As you can see, he's just going to do some sniping. What does he even have left on the board right now? I'm not even sure. Oh, he's just sitting on the wall breaker. Okay, we'll end it there. MJ kind of seeing if you can do some last-minute sniping with a wall breaker, perhaps. So let's go ahead and go to the next attack here by Woody. You can see Woody, a very experienced GoWiWi attacker. This is a very common base. I'm sure you guys have all seen it a lot, all you Town Hall 10s out there. You can see 11 wall breakers and jump are going to be his destruction team to open up spaces, and he's going to have a nice spread of golems here. He has 2 in the middle, flanked by 2 on each end, and then what he's going to do is he's going to spam his wizards in just a moment here after he gives the golem some time to attract all that defensive attention. So here come the wizards. You can see he's able to sneak some wall breakers in there to create a hole in the center there, and he's actually going to have 3 of the golems go into that main hole, and then he's going to save a few wall breakers to allow that the 6 o'clock southern golem to get into the archer queen, distract the archer queen while the rest of the troops make their way towards towards the center of the base there. So that's actually a clever thing to do when you see the Archer Queen kind of close to the south with this base again. But pay attention to these freeze spells. So he dropped the first freeze spell right before it engaged all the wizards and witches, and the second freeze spell on the far side Inferno Tower. That's another mistake I see people make. I see people either use a freeze spell way too early or way too late. And I also see people freeze an Inferno Tower right before it's about to be destroyed. There's really no reason to freeze an Inferno Tower before it's going to be destroyed. More often than not, you're actually able to hold on to that second freeze spell if you're bringing two, and using the second one against the far side Inferno Tower versus the close one. Now, you don't want to really double freeze the first Inferno Tower unless it's really necessary. And how you plan for that, how you mitigate the opportunity of actually using that or having to do that during a raid, is what you do is you delay a few seconds on that first freeze spell. So oftentimes it looks like the Inferno Tower beams are targeting all your troops, and people can kind of panic and say, okay, the Inferno's on to all my troops, let's freeze immediately. But more often than not, you're actually able to delay a few seconds or even 5 or 6 seconds after that, because more often than not, they're actually just locked onto your golems or even your heroes, and that's really no big deal. So here's another kind of a strange base, a little unorthodox with the Town Hall, a little off-center there with a wall around it. Either way, Maverick is a very good, very experienced attacker. He's going to come in northwest here. If you ever see a base like this, they're pretty easy to hit. Just go ahead and sneak a couple golems in here with a wide spread. Oftentimes, if you see bases like this with the wide compartments and then the town hall kind of centralized, they don't all look exactly like this. But using a nice wide spread of the troops rather than a small narrow spread, perhaps using 2 jump spells, is the way to go. You only want to use 1 jump spell, start wide on the spread of troops, and then get narrow as they get towards the town hall. So you can only use 1 jump spell, and be able to get the troops into the center there where the town hall is to engage it. So you can see here, look at the freeze on that. Look at the freeze on that Inferno Tower, guys. That was perfect, because he knew that it was only latched onto the golems there, and it was a multi-target latched onto golems and P.E.K.K.A.s is really not a harm at all. In fact, you almost don't want to freeze it, because then it can give the opportunity to reacquire new targets, and perhaps that might be some of your witches or wizards, your big DPS units. So already 2 stars on the board here. Maverick, very nice attack here. And you can see he still has, like I said, his queen's ability to be used here, and it was all because of how he attacked the base and how patient he was on the spells. Even though his queen went off track here, it's actually going to help him out. It's going to allow him to get a huge percentage number on the board here. So we'll just watch till the end here, see exactly how many percentage points he gets. If it wasn't for that single target Inferno Tower and Expo still on the board, he would have a great shot at 3 stars this war. So this attack rather. So you can see here he pops the ability. He's able to get 84, 85%. Very impressive attack against a max base here by Maverick. And impressive attacks all the way around by Red Elite. And just another huge shout out to my subscriber base for supporting us all by watching these videos. And also, just as importantly, to my clan for providing these amazing replays to share with you guys. And like I said, our 100th win, very excited about it. And hopefully 100 more coming a little bit a faster time than the first 100. So guys, cheers to all of you and congratulations. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care, guys.